What's going on, everyone? It's Ben from YGO from Zero, back with another Yugi-Kaiba format video. And I think I've shown off both the pros and cons of this Exodia deck, but I've played some more great games with it that I want to show off. And I think this game in particular does show off how aggressive I think you do need to get with the side deck that you smokescreen side into. But before we get into the games, let's go over the deck breakdown. So, of course, this is Exodia, so the goal of the deck is to draw into all 5 pieces of Exodia the Forbidden One. To that end, we're playing all 5 in the deck. We've got Exodia the Forbidden One, left arm of the Forbidden One, left leg of the Forbidden One, right arm of the Forbidden One, right leg of the Forbidden One. That's our win condition, at least in Game 1. In order to facilitate that win condition, we have all the level 4 lower defenders. We have Aquamadors, we've got Mystical Elves, we've got Giant Soldier of Stone, we've got Spirit of Harp. These are just great at stalling our opponent for a bit. They can be tough monsters to get over, and so they're pretty good. We also have 3 Walls of Illusion. These can act as a regular wall, just like your 2K defenders, and they can also bounce an opponent's monster back to hand. That could either be a tribute monster, which could, get it out of the way to prevent it from clearing your other walls, or it could just be a pesky beater that, it's setting them back a turn because they'll have to resummon it on the next turn. We also have 3 Man-Eater Bug. These are great at acting as removal. It's also great to bring off of something like Ultimate Offering during your opponent's battle phase. So, very good card. For these spells, we have, of course, 4 of the limited spells: Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, Raigeki. We're not playing the 5th in the main deck just because it doesn't really do enough for this strategy, but we are playing in the side because it is just a very good card for an aggressive strategy, which is what we're siding into. We have 3 Fisher to act as removal. We have 2 Swords Revealing Light to stall our opponent for a bit longer to enable us to draw into more pieces. We have 3 Trap Hole, 2 Ultimate Offering, and 3 Waboku. So the Trap Hole acts as removal on our opponent's turn. The Waboku protects our monsters and our life points. And Ultimate Offering enables us to bring out monsters during our opponent's battle phase in a way that dodges removal. You could argue that we should play 3 copies of this and maybe sub out something like a Monster Reborn, which only really serves to get back a defender, or bring back like an opponent's beater to try to beat over some of their other beaters. But I like 2 copies in the deck. I think you still draw them fairly often, and this way you're bricking less than you would be if you were playing 3. Moving on to the side deck, we have a side deck into Worm Control here. So we have 2 Wicked Worm Beast, 3 Battle Ox, 3 Lojin, 3 Neo. These are our offensive monsters. Wicked Worm Beast is great at dodging around things like Soul Exchange or Change of Heart, which your opponent might side into, given that they see that you're on a stall strategy. We have 1 Change of Heart to get even more aggressive and potentially trigger an opponent's Man-Eater Bug. We have 3 Reinforcements to get over our opponent's beaters and also their defenders if they're still playing defenders. And that is the deck. Before we get into the games, as always, consider liking the video and subscribing if you enjoy my content. It really does help the channel. But with all that out of the way, let's dive in to the duels, because these are some pretty fun ones. Okay, we've got a game against Deo Zomph. We're playing Exodia. Unclear what they're playing, but I guess we'll find out. Looks like we're going to be going first here. Let's hope we remember to draw for turn. And this is a pretty good hand. We have Pot of Greed to draw even deeper, but we have 1 piece and a bunch of defenders and some trap holes. So we don't have Ultimate Offering to bring out the defenders during our opponent's battle phase, but this is still pretty good. We're going to set both trap holes. We can't really use them both next turn, but this is a nice bluff at least. Opponent's just going to bring out Lojin. We're fine with that. Maybe we should have trap holed it because it's a pretty big beater, but we're not too worried. We've got a defender. Main phase 2, they're just going to Fisher that away. Set 3 and pass. We're just going to set another defender. Now we don't have to fear board clears because They fissured away our one monster. So, yeah. So we feel pretty comfortable just setting and passing. They're just going to attack in. It's a wall. They're going to reinforcements to get over the wall. And then they're going to bring out the Lodgin. Since we have a third trap hole in hand, we're just going to trap hole this because it seems like they're low on monsters. So depriving them of one is pretty good. We're going to set a defender, set a trap hole, pass back to them. They're going to bring out Worm Beast, which means that they might be on a sort of worm control deck. That's a pretty good sign for us because these sorts of worm control decks do have trouble getting over bigger defenders and can have trouble dealing with stall decks. They're just going to attack in to the giant soldier, and then they'll pass back to us. We draw Waboku, which is a great draw. You always want to see Waboku at some point as a stall deck. They're going to bring out Wicked Worm Beast, and we are just going to trap hole it here. Before, they couldn't have fissured away our giant soldier. Now they have the opportunity to, so we're just going to play it safe. Oh, they're going to reborn the Worm Beast, which is pretty good. They'll be able to keep getting value off of that. And they will fissure away the giant soldier, attack in for 14. And then they'll pass back to us. We draw another defender, which is very nice. So we're just going to set that defender. They're going to bring out Lodgin. We're going to trap hole it because Lodgin can actually get over defenders with reinforcements. And they're going to set one, pass back to us. We draw. They summon out Battle Ox. Now they actually don't have to fear trap hole because all three of our trap holes are in the graveyard. They're going to attack into our defender, take 300, and pass back to us. We draw another Waboku, which is nice. We're just going to pass back to them. I honestly think we probably could have set another monster here, like a Wall of Illusion or something. If they have like a Raigeki, you know, we've got the Waboku to recover from that, and we've got a backup Waboku in hand. But I guess we're not too worried about that. And it turns out that they don't have a way to remove this, so we're feeling pretty good about that. We'll set Swords as a bluff, pass back to them. We draw another great card, Man-Eater Bug. And we draw another card, so we're at 7 here. We could set the Waboku, or we could set like the Spirit of the Harp as another defender. Or we could just set the Wall of Illusion. Either is fine. They're going to dark hole this board. You know, they cleared 2 of our monsters, so they're feeling okay about that. And they know we don't have trap holes, so they can't really we can't really punish them here for that. We'll just take the 18. We don't feel the need to Waboku yet. We draw a third Waboku, which is pretty nice. We're just going to set a Man-Eater Bug, pass back to them, and they are just going to attack into it, so we'll be able to clear the Lodgin, which is pretty good for us. And we draw Ultimate Offering, which is just great. You know, now we can set monsters without fear of them being removed because we do have the Ultimate Offering to bring out more monsters during their battle phase. So we're feeling very good about that. They're going to bring out Neo and attack in to our defender. They do have reinforcements this time, so they will be able to clear Spirit of the Harp. But that's fine by us. We still have the Man-Eater in hand to bring out off the Ultimate Offering. They're going to draw 2, Change of Heart, our Wall of Illusion, bring out a Wicked Worm Beast. And we could just set the Man-Eater Bug here, but we don't really feel the need to. We've got, you know, Waboku's up the wazoo, so we can just activate the Waboku, get back our wall, switch the wall to defense, and pass back to them. They're just going to set one, pass back to us. It's very likely that's a Man-Eater Bug. We're just going to let it be, because if we bring out another monster, then they can pop that monster with the Man-Eater Bug, attack into wall, get the bug back. So we don't really feel the need to do that. They're going to bring out Wicked Worm Beast, flip up the bug, and this time we are going to bring out the Man-Eater Bug, so that way we can actually pop the Wicked Worm Beast. We'll take 450 here, but that's honestly not that much damage. And we draw Raigeki to go with our Dark Hole. So we're feeling pretty good. We'll just Swords here. We don't really feel the need to clear their board yet. We draw a third piece, which is very nice. We're just going to set the Waboku. And yeah, we'll just set the Mystical Elf. We can use Raigeki to clear their board if we so choose. Swords will go to the graveyard. We have 7 cards again. We could just discard Ultimate Offering at the end phase. We do have Wabokus to use if they manage to remove our board. So, might be the play, and that's what we're going to do. They're just going to attack into our defender. It's Mystical Elf. Looks like they might not have a reinforcements. They'll set one pass back to us. It's very likely that is a Man-Eater bug, so we will just Raigeki their board, and it turns out we're correct. We have the Alchemator to bring out off of the Ultimate Offering if they do manage to clear our Mystical Elf with something like a Fisher. But it looks like they're just going to set another. We'll just set a spell to clear up our hand a bit. They're going to bring out a Neo, flip up Man-Eater bug, pop our Mystical Elf, attack in with Neo. We're just going to bring out the Alchemator. If they can't clear it, we're in a very good spot. And it looks like they might not be able to. We draw another defender, which is nice. If they clear the Alchemator, we can just bring out another one. They're going to bring out Battle Ox, Raigeki our board, and try and get in for some damage. We're just going to Waboku this because this way we can use up the Dark Hole. This is a pretty juicy Dark Hole board. And we draw a fourth piece, which is very, very nice. We're just going to clear their board with the Dark Hole. We're just going to go ahead and set the Alchemator because they've used up Raigeki. They've used up Change of Heart. They're probably not on Soul Exchange because they're playing potentially a Worm Control deck. They could just be playing Soul Exchange that has a Wicked Worm Beast in the deck just to play around other Soul Control strategies. But we're feeling comfortable setting this. If it is Soul Exchange, they lose their battle phase. If they have Swords Revealing Light plus Fisher, then that's unfortunate. But they've used up 2 Fishers already. And we do have a Man-Eater bug to bring out off the Ultimate Offering in worst case scenario. So we're not feeling too bad about that. They're going to bring out Giant Soldier, and that feels very good for us because, you know, they'd have to use 2 reinforcements to clear the Aquamador if they were going to do that. But they're just going to flip it up. Monster Reborn's okay. We check their graveyard to see if they have any big beaters that we can bring out to clear the Giant Soldier. And, you know, we're just going to settle for a Lodge-In. We're just going to attack in to the Giant Soldier. They're going to Waboku that. And they will Fisher away our Alchemator, but they can't actually clear the Lodge-In, which feels pretty good for us. We could Fisher away their Giant Soldier and just start trying to get in for damage, but we don't really feel the need to. We'll set the Man-Eater bug because they have used up Raigeki and Dark Hole, so we can feel comfortable just setting it now because they don't really have removal to deal with it. We'll set the Fisher. They're going to tribute out a Summon Skull, attack over our Lodge-In, pass back to us, and we do draw the 5th piece. So that will be the end of the game. So that's game 1. You know, Worm Control definitely is one of this deck's better matchups because Worm Control has a very tough time dealing with these sorts of stall decks. So that victory wasn't too impressive there. But we're going to be siding in Worm Control for game 2, so let's see how that goes. Looks like we're going to be going second. And we do have Worm Beast and Ultimate Offering in the first hand, so that's pretty good. We're not complaining about that. Trap Hole's also a very good draw. We're going to Swords just in case that's a Man-Eater bug. Unfortunately, it's not, so we can't really do anything about that. We'll set a Man-Eater bug of our own. They could remove it with something like a Raigeki or something like that, or I guess they could remove it with Soul Control, like Soul Exchange. That would actually be pretty bad for us, but they're not going to their battle phase, so we can't bring it out off of Ultimate Offering. And we're just hoping they don't have the combo already in hand. So that way we can flip up Man-Eater bug, bring out Worm Beast, and hopefully get in for some damage next turn. They're just going to pass back to us, and we feel very good about that. We're going to bring out Worm Beast, and they're going to Trap Hole it. Now, we do have a choice here because we do have Reborn. So we can just Reborn the Worm Beast and get in for damage, get the Worm Beast back, and potentially be able to bring it out on later turns. That might be worth it. It is a very aggressive play here. But, you know, you kind of have to be aggressive with this strategy that we've sided into, because in a long game, usually the opponent can get the upper hand because you are playing a slightly weaker version of Worm Control. So we are just going to pop their Giant Soldier. We're going to Reborn back the Wicked Worm Beast, and we are just going to get in for 1850. Get the Worm Beast back, pass back to them. They're going to set one, and Trap Hole's okay. We're just going to switch the Man-Eater back to defense because we don't really want to attack into their Man-Eater if it is a Man-Eater, and if it's a defender, we can't really do anything about it. So we're just going to leave things as they are. Swords is not the best draw here, so we're just going to set it. They will flip up Giant Soldier of Stone. We're just going to Trap Hole that. They're going to bring out a Neo, which we will also Trap Hole. And now we have an empty board, so we can bring out Wicked Worm Beast, attack in for 1400, and get Worm Beast back. And we've got the ultimate offering to bring out a Man-Eater bug if they're trying to get in for a ton of damage. So we're feeling pretty good. They're going to bring out Neo, and that's fine by us. They're going to attack into the Man-Eater bug, and at the end of the battle phase, we're going to flip up ultimate offering. Then we're going to activate ultimate offering to bring out a Man-Eater bug. Since they've already attacked with the Neo, they can't actually clear it. And this will enable us to get aggressive next turn, flipping up the Man-Eater bug, bringing out a Wicked Worm Beast, and popping their monster. So we'll get in for another 1850. And, you know, these 1850 attacks might not seem like much, but they've whittled down our opponent to 2,900 life points. So we're feeling pretty good about that. And we do have Swords of Revealing Light to stall for time to just draw into cards that can enable us to get in for more damage. So we're feeling pretty good about the state of affairs of things here. We're just going to end our turn, get the Wicked Worm Beast back to hand. They're going to bring out a Lodge In and attack into Man-Eater bug. We're just going to take it. We don't really care enough about the Man-Eater bug to activate Wuboku. They're going to pass back to us. Raigeki is a pretty decent draw. But the question is, do we use it now and just get in for the Wicked Worm Beast to bring them down to 1,500? Or do we wait, hide behind something like potentially a Sword of Revealing Light until we draw another monster and potentially go for game, bringing out two monsters with Ultimate Offering? We're going to bring out Wicked Worm Beast, and we're just going to activate Swords. So it looks like we're going to do the latter strategy, waiting for a monster that can actually do something here. They set a monster and pass back to us. We figure that this is playing around, you know, like something like a Fisher, so we're not too worried about it. We don't really think it's anything. If it's Man-Eater bug, they can't pop any of our monsters anyways, so we're going to save the Raigeki. We're going to bring out Wicked Worm Beast to bluff like we have something going on. Set one, pass back to them. And it turns out that it's actually Trap Master, so they will be able to pop our Ultimate Offering, which is really bad given that our sort of idea for victory was to bring out multiple monsters with it and just attack in for a lot of damage. But it's not the worst thing in the world. That Trap Master is in attack mode now, so we'll be able to bring out Neo. And it looks like they don't have Trap Hole on hand. We'll be able to get in for 1,200, bring them down to 17, which is very, very nice. That's an amount that we can kill them through with just the Wicked Worm Beast and reinforcements. They're going to Fisher away our Neo, and our swords will expire. We draw Fisher, so that means that we don't have to go super aggressive with the Raigeki, which is very nice. We'll bring out Wicked Worm Beast, Fisher away their Lodge In, try and attack in for game here. They've got Wuboku though, so nothing we can do about that. Wicked Worm Beast comes back to hand. They're going to activate Swords, buy themselves a bit more time. We're just going to set a wall, pass back to them. They're going to Soul Exchange, setting a Tribute Monster. And this is a good argument for maybe saving the wall until we were sure that they had a monster. I don't know. It's tough to say. We don't have Ultimate Offering online anymore. And we do have the Raigeki to deal with whatever they bring out, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Battle Ox is an okay draw. We're just going to set it. And they're going to bring out a Neo, Change of Heart, our Battle Ox, potentially hoping that it was like a Maneater or something. Fortunately for them, it was kind of a bluff, but also we said it just to defend our life points a little. They're going to try attacking in for a lot of damage. We're going to Wuboku that, and we're feeling very good about this. We're going to set the wall and also set Wuboku. We forgot to do that before the end of our turn, but our opponent was very forgiving. This is actually very vital to our strategy because they could potentially do a lot of damage to us if we didn't have it. Also, you know, we want to keep around the wall if they attack in with the Summoned Skull. They're going to Fisher away the Battle Ox, attack in to the wall. We're going to Wuboku. So that'll bounce the Summoned Skull back to hand. This is just, we've both forgot that Wuboku was still in effect, so this is just a very minor thing. We just reset everything, and so it didn't matter. That's the good thing about a manual simulator, because you can, you know, reset in situations where it's like, oh, we forgot about something, you know. In an automatic simulator, you'd be punished for making that move because the Wall of Illusion just wouldn't die, and our opponent would lose their Neo and basically just lose the game at that point. But in this instance, it's fine. We're going to Raigeki their Neo, try and attack in for game here. They're going to Wuboku. We're going to set reinforcements, pass back to them. They're going to set one, and we're just going to bring out Wicked Worm Beast. Switch wall to attack in with Wicked Worm Beast. They're going to pop the Wicked Worm Beast, figuring that it's unlikely we can kill them in this situation. Unfortunately for them, we do actually have 2 reinforcements, so that will be the end of the game. However, it was likely going to be the end of the game, even if they did pop the wall, because we did have the Fisher to deal with whatever else they could have brought out, and they didn't really have anything to bring out anyways. So that is the end of the game, and I think that this game 2 was actually very interesting because we went super aggressive, and it really did pay off for us. And I think you really do have to be very aggressive with the Worm Beast side, because your opponent is expecting like a stall strategy still, or maybe like Soul Exchange or something. So if you can just take them by surprise really quickly and mount a major offensive, oftentimes they're playing a slower deck, so they just can't recover in time. So I wanted to show off this game just because I really do think that the second game of the match is super interesting and a very good example of how you have to play a bit more recklessly than you normally do. Within reason, of course. You know, don't just, you know, fire Raigeki right when you draw it, right? But you gotta be willing to play things a bit more fast and loose. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed as always. I'm almost done with covering Exodia. I've just got a couple more duels that I want to show. One of which, you know, I just think is a really great game. Another of which is sort of showing off another side deck option that you might want to do. One that I think, you know, can help insulate this deck against other stall strategies, but is maybe less good against aggro strategies. But until then, I've been Ben with YGO from Zero, and I'm signing off.